SWAT.
What's up? Doofanak95 here, and yes, your eyes do not deceive you. This is Sunday SWAT. Come on, you know you missed it. Admit it, you do. Alright, as I said, I would be doing this every once in a while, and I am living up to that promise here. We got some SWAT, we got Adrift is the map, I believe. I think I get a good majority of the kills, or close to a majority of the kills. It's pretty decent gameplay, a few deaths here and there, but you know, that's to be expected out of every gameplay. But, yeah, I struggled to come up with a topic for this one. I thought, you know, well, I could talk about productivity, but then I was like, well, I haven't been very productive at all. More when it comes to these videos, you know, other areas, yes, I have. But, yeah, I just struggled. I thought of all kinds of different things I could talk about. I was thinking, you know, maybe talk about, you know, what I want from Halo 5. I was like, you know, everyone's kind of doing that. But it is going to kind of relate to that. What we're going to talk about today is hype. And that sounds very broad and non-specific. So let me kind of narrow it in for you.
Gain the lead.
Just to put it in perspective, I've been basically playing 2 games over my Christmas break and whatnot. I've been playing Dead Rising 3 here and there, you know, just because I have my Xbox One and I can. And I've been playing friendly matches on Super Smash Brothers with my brother. Yeah. And something I've realized, and I've seen this thing called, it's a documentary called The Smash Brothers, and it just demonstrated how competitive the game was and how big people made it. It was huge, even though Nintendo had basically no backing for the competitive crowd. Like, they didn't try to emphasize that. It was all fans of the game. They made it the competitive beast it became. And then I got to thinking about Halo, which is the game, you know, I was playing for so long, you know, about a year continuously. And I was really getting into it, even though it wasn't the most competitive thing it's ever been. You know, Halo 3 was obviously the peak of its competitive life, and unfortunately, it just went downhill from there. Whether you want to blame Bungie or 343 for, you know, Halo Reach and Halo 4 not being as competitive, you know, you can throw that around all the time, or however you want to do it. But that doesn't change the fact that the game wasn't as competitive, and there was no hype for it when the competitive nature died down. Because people want to play a game and get better when they see people basically getting in there and doing things in their matches that feel like, you know, it's breaking the game. They get hyped. They want to be playing with their friends, you know, and that's something else that creates the hype around the game, is people always, you know, just want to hop online and play with their friends. Hey, I gotta go to work today, but, you know, I could just stay here and play, you know, a few matches before I leave, you know, and then, you know, pulling all-nighters, and especially with their friends. People will get involved in these games, and that is something that helps companies like Microsoft out, because they can take this game, they know people want to play it, and they can market to a competitive crowd. But of course, the hype's not going to be there if the game is not competitive, like in the case of Halo 4. So that is something they obviously have to address. So not only does Halo 5 have to be the, how do I word this? The game in the Halo series that is competitively superior to all the other Halo games. It has to be Halo 3 in level of, or how competitive it is. It has to, because that's the crowd that's going to bring the hype in, and that's what is going to put Halo back on top. I have faith that they can do it. Now, I have faith that they can do it, I said, not that they will do it. So, let's hope for the best here. Hype is definitely the key thing we're looking for. Hype is going to turn this thing around. It's going to make people want to play it. It's going to get the DLC sales up, which is something that I mentioned in my previous video for Halo. That basically, you know, if there's no one here wanting to play, nobody's going to buy these DLC maps. So if there's a competitive nature and a desire to play, throughout the cycle of the game, people are going to want to play. I sound like a broken record, but hype has to be there. And this is something that people have said all along. You know, this is not news in any way. It's just something that needs to be brought up, and it's something that was on my mind, and I just had to get it out there. And hopefully somebody who's developing this game will see this. I mean, and all the other members of the community who are saying things like this. Hopefully they've taken that into account. They seem to have acknowledged their mistakes with Halo 4, but we just gotta see if they can capitalize on what remains of the community, and then see if they can bring in old members and possibly even new members. I was relatively new when Halo 4 came out to this community, so that's just how it works. There's always new blood to be poured in. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, of course, if you did. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you next time with whatever I want to put on this channel. So, later.
Kill. Game over. Victory.